one of the questions I really get from a lot of the audience is, what are the good attributes of a person or a student or a researcher who wants to embark on research or a new job position in the field of data science, machine learning, and AI? And this is to all the panelists.
So I can take the first answer. My answer is actually not a technical skill necessarily. I think you just need to practice learning new stuff. Not to say that you're not already learning lots of new stuff, but AI and ML advances so quickly that practicing, picking up new skills, new algorithms, new libraries, and using them to do something is just a valuable experience in itself. The second thing that I think is worthwhile focusing on is problem representation. Become comfortable translating essentially word problems into mathematical computational representations. I think that's a vital skill.
I was having a conversation with this yesterday with a company that had an open position for their engineering elements, and basically they said, look, it's much easier for us to take somebody who's trained in all of the engineering stuff, like differential equations, simulation, model building, requirement, all that stuff, much easier for them to then pick up the machine learning stuff, like using the things that Chris mentioned. So I think, not neglecting that aspect of your education gives you an outsized advantage that, you're the run-of-the-mill computer science student graduating who's, thinking about Facebook is not going to have, they're just not going to have the background, right? So that's a real advantage that's coming into play now with companies who want to deploy these things and cannot find the labor. So if you're able to transition in that way, I think the world's your oyster. Yeah.
I'm going to take a slightly different direction because, I'm always contrary. A couple years ago, we ran some workshops with companies trying to define what the future engineer for advanced manufacturing would be. And I asked them to give me a job ad for advanced manufacturing engineer for 2035. And we went far enough out that they didn't know what technologies were going to be available or anything like that. And one thing that became very clear was they are looking for people that can learn, like Chris and Mark were implying, people that are self-driven, that can go out and find these new technologies. But it can't stop there. So if you go and you learn a new technology and you bring it back and you apply it in your company, they benefit short-term but not long-term. And so what they really want are engineers that can go out, discover the new stuff, understand it, learn it, bring it back, apply it, and then teach it. I know that is going to sound very scary, but that is a skill that companies are starting to look for. Can you teach? Now, they don't use that word teach. They use communicate, share, expose others, guide, mentor, develop. But essentially, engineers that want to keep moving forward are going to have to be really good teachers.